Hello and welcome to the 612 Club, and this is groundbreaking stuff I'm talking about here. I hope that you realize, anyone who is fortunate enough to be either in the mastermind group or in the club and part of this select Stiano consulting community, you are witnessing history. Okay, last week I introduced the APDS course. Yep, APDS course, the Advanced Practice Development Support course, which I am going to be championing, and one day will become just like the ATLS course. Everybody, for the basics, if you want to be treating patients, you've got to do an ATLS course, just so you know what to do in an emergency, what to prioritize and what to do first. That's what the ATLS is all about, and that is what the APDS is all about if you want to grow your private practice. If you want to grow your private practice, if you're serious about having an independent practice, meaning an independent practice means it's about you. It's not about the private hospitals, it's not about the insurance companies, it's not about the NHS, it's about you treating patients, you attracting patients, and you keeping hold of patients and making them refer friends to you and come back again for repeat procedures. It's about having a practice that revolves around you rather than another entity, another body. And even people in private practice, in full-time private practice, may not have a particularly independent practice if they practice just at one hospital, if they rely on that hospital to get all their patients, if their secretary is based at that hospital. They may or may not realize how beholden they are to that one hospital, and if that hospital for whatever reason decided to have them not work there anymore or not want to send them any more patients, and they had to go to another hospital, they might struggle to have a practice anywhere near as busy as it was at the other place. And that is because they didn't have a truly independent practice. Patients weren't coming to see them, they were coming to the hospital, and the hospital were funneling them to the practitioner. So if you were serious about having a practice that relies on you and that you can control, you need to take note of the APDS course. It's an absolute basic. You've got to do your APDS. You've not done your APDS. And what's this guy talking about? What's he on about? APDS? Goodness me, he's lost the plot. Well, today, 10th of September 2020 is the day that they'll first be coined about the ABC. Now, we all know about the ABC of ATLS. Well, I'm going to be talking today about the ABC of the APDS. And the concept of the APDS is the same as the ATLS. When you go into a war zone, when you go into a multiple casualty situation, you need a structure, you need a framework of what to prioritize and what to do. Because if you went into a situation with multiple casualties, you would not be, without the ATLS course, you would not be criticized for choosing someone and treating them with a terribly open fracture of a limb, terrible laceration, bleeding awfully and screaming in pain, a child. These things you would be not criticized for treating. But the point of ATLS is to say, well, hold on a minute, airway first, the airway's going to kill them, let's treat the people, let's get the airway right first, and then we can treat people who are bleeding. It's breathing, isn't it? Bleeding's the C. We've got breathing problems and the C. I have done an ATLS course. I know what I'm on about, and then the C, the circulation. We'll cut this out. Anyway, the point is, you have a priority. You're allowed to leave the poor child with an open fracture of the leg. You're allowed to walk past that screaming child and look after the person who swallowed their tongue, who might not have a clear airway. And this has come about because when I speak to doctors, when I speak to people who are trying to grow their practice, week on, week out, it can be difficult to get traction. It can be difficult to do stuff, and you find that you're busy with your NHS job, you're busy with your private practice treating patients, and you find that you haven't got any time to actually develop and grow your practice, because the point is you're treating the person with the open fracture of their arm and you're treating the laceration that's bleeding or the small child that's crying, you are not looking after the important things that are going to make a difference, or make a bigger difference. I'm not saying they're not important. I'm not saying that a broken arm open fracture is not important, but I'm just saying there are other things more important that you will be better served doing. So let's get to it. ABC. So the ABC, the A stands for I should have written this down, shouldn't it? So the B, awareness. It's almost laughable that I there'll be a time when the ABC will be known by everybody, but at the moment the ABC is not common knowledge, and I know I should have written it down, but anyway, I didn't write it down. Awareness, okay? Awareness. B is B. They have to be with you. You have to see them. So first of all, they have to be aware of you. Then they have to be with you. You have to see them and have a consultation with them. And then they have to be a customer or a client that you have to then sort of treat them. So that is the ABC. Awareness, be, client or customer. We're thrashing it out. We're just trying to work it out. It's still a work in progress. So awareness, be, and customer. ABC. Doesn't sound quite as good as airway, breathing, circulation, does it? Awareness, be, client. Probably worse. Anyway, that's what they stand for. So let me talk about it. Awareness. Now, awareness doesn't necessarily mean that people who don't know about you need to know about you, although that is important. And obviously, before someone can be a patient, can be a customer or a client or a patient, shall we say, is what we say as doctors, they have to be aware of you. But more than that, it's people who maybe know that you exist, know that you're a doctor, maybe know that you've got an NHS practice, but don't know what you can offer them. People need to be aware of what you can do for them and why they should treat you over someone else. So that is the awareness point. And the awareness, without the awareness, not only the fact that you exist, but also the fact of what you can do for them and why they should treat you as opposed to the guy next door who is doing the same procedures that you're doing. Until you've done that, there's no point in worrying about the C. The C is the doing the surgery or performing the procedure. We're not going to get any procedures to do unless people are aware of us and want to come and see us as opposed to other people. So the first thing to focus on is awareness. B is when we see them. So when we see them, when the patient comes to clinic, when we start talking to them, obviously we need to have a good rapport, we need to look after them, we need to listen to their questions, we need to explain the pros and cons of the procedure, we need to give them the space, the time to make an informed decision as to whether we're the right surgeon or the right physician for them. So that's the B. And then the C is the customer or client part of it, which is actually delivering the service, doing the treatment, doing the thing that we do, which clearly we have to do to a very high level, and we have to get very good outcomes and have very low revision rates and low complications. We have to manage our complications appropriately, and we have to make sure that we audit our results, etc., etc. So they're all important. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to give you permission to ignore the C and the B until you've looked after the A, which is really what the ATLS is all about. It's saying, look, B and C are important, but without the A, they're dead. So without the A, there's no point in the B and C. And I think the thing that a lot of doctors do is they focus on the C. They focus on when the person's a customer. They think, I'm very good, my patients love me, I get great outcomes, I'm a really good doctor. Great. Well done you. But people only know that once they've actually had treatment by you. I'm not saying it's not important. Of course it's important. But if that's all you focus on, if that's all you think you have to focus on, if you think that's all you have to do is to do a good job, is to do a good operation or do a good procedure and get good clinical outcomes, you're wrong. you're not going to have a truly independent practice. Fact. So, it's not enough. It's not enough just to be a good doctor and to get good outcomes. You need the B, but also you need the A. So the B is being nice to them at the clinic, listening to their questions, giving them time, giving them space, giving them opportunities to come back to you to ask questions, etc., etc. So that's also something we need to focus on and look at. But more than the B or the C is the A. And the A is something that a lot of people pay no attention to. Zero. Zilch, nada, nilch. Niente. No attention to. So the A is the awareness. It's the awareness that you exist. It's the awareness of what you can do. So you don't want them to think, oh, he's an NHS consultant, he's an NHS plastic surgeon, I want my breast implant, so I'll go to the clinic down the road because he's just does reconstruction. So it's awareness of what you can do for people, not only in terms of, oh, he does breast reconstruction, but also thinking about what it is you're actually doing for people. What are you doing? What is the problem that they've got? Because when you start thinking and spending your time in the awareness zone, you start thinking, well, hold on, what is the problem they've got? Do they really want breast implants? No one really wants breast implants. What they want is they want to feel better about themselves. They want self-esteem. They want to restore volume. They want to be able to wear the clothes they want to wear. They want to feel more comfortable with their partner. They want to be able to go to beach holidays. These are things that people want. This is what you're doing. This is what you are doing. You're not putting implants in. Well, you are putting implants in, but the outcome. They want the outcome. They don't want the way that they get. They don't want the bridge from where they are to where they're going to be. They want where they're going to be. And a lot of doctors focus on the bridge. They focus on how they get there. They focus on, we do a minimally invasive cardiac ablation therapy laser technique, which has been popularized and in Belgium, and I've done a 3-year scholarship in Australia learning how to do an endocardiac. No one cares. What are you doing? What's the benefit of the thing that you do? Oh, they get out of hospital quicker. Oh, they have a smaller scar. Oh, you can treat problems at an earlier stage, means they're going to less likely need surgery in the future. I don't know. Whatever. That's what they want. They don't care about an endovascular stent technique, laser, etc., etc. But hold on a minute, you can get back to work quicker, smaller scar, quicker recovery, less chance of needing further surgery in the future. These are things that are actually important. These are things you're going to focus on. And again, what are you doing? You're not doing a heart stent thing. You're meaning that they can go and walk up the mountain with their grandchildren, or they can go back out to the shop so they can climb up the stairs without getting breathless. That's what you're doing. That's what they're wanting. So that's the awareness of what you're offering people. That's what you're offering. You're offering an opportunity for them to have a more comfortable life, or less pain, or more mobility, or be able to do this or wear this, or self-esteem, or whatever. That is what the awareness, the awareness of what you are doing for people. So you need to let people know what you can do for them, and you need to let people know why they should choose you rather than the next guy. There are a host of people. I don't care who you are, and I don't care what you do. There are other people who are doing the thing that you do. And if there aren't, you're probably doing a bit of a dubious thing. If you're the only person in the country that does this technique, I'm like, hold on a minute. Well, why is that? It sounds like it's probably a bit dubious, to be honest, because let's face it, most things are pretty well established operations, putting in grommets, repairing hernias, sorting out varicose veins. These things are, there's nothing wildly different that you're going to do from someone else. And it's very hard to get demonstrably better outcomes than everybody else, frankly. Most people are in the average range in terms of getting their outcome. Much as you probably like to think that you're better than everybody else, it's very hard to demonstrate that you're better than everybody else. So given that you can't demonstrate that you're clinically better than everybody else, how are you going to differentiate yourself from the others? Now, it doesn't necessarily mean being better overall, because it's hard to say I'm better overall, but what it does mean is niching yourself down. And it goes to the car analogy. You know, if you think of cars have got to be reliable, they've got to be safe, they've got to be comfortable, they've got to be economical. Any car manufacturer would want to be those things. You ask a car manufacturer, do you not want to be safe? Do you want to be known for not being safe? Do you want to be known for being not economic? You know, everybody wants to do that. But if you talk about safety, if you talk about reliability, if you talk about economy, if you talk about comfort, there's probably a 1 or 2 or 3 makes of car that you would put into each of those categories. So the car manufacturers have said themselves, yes, we want to be all those things, but we are going to go for the reliability thing. We are going to be known for being the reliable guys. Now that might mean that we'll lose some people who want safety, who want luxury, or who want whatever. But the people who want reliability, we're their man. You know, we're going to go for safety, so we're the safety guys. So cars have niched it down. And that, if you say, I'm going to make a car that's got everything, it's everything for everybody, you're not going to get very far. The man who chases 2 rabbits catches none. You've got to say where you're going to be. So it doesn't necessarily mean to say I'm going to be better. I'm better than everybody else. I'm better than those guys. But what it does mean is that for this group of patients, this is the type of patients that I really resonate with and I can treat well. For instance, with me, with breast implants, I'll happily say, look, when you get to bigger breast implants, wider than the width of your breast, the fuller look, the less natural look, the more fake look, not really my thing. So I'm going to lose patients who want that sort of thing. There are patients out there who want big round implants and, you know, want to look a bit more fake. And I'm like, I'm probably not your guy. And I'm happy to say that, and I'm happy to, you know, to lose those patients, because I know that the patients who I am their guy is the mums who've had children, who've lost weight, lost volume, want to look normal, want to look natural, want to be comfortable in their own skin, want to go on beach holidays, don't want to walk into a room and everyone have a look at them. So when you start talking like that and saying this is who I am, yes, you're going to repel some patients, but those that do resonate with you, you're going to pull closer. So it's about awareness. You have to demonstrate the awareness of what you can offer, what is it that you're offering, and why you. That is the A. That is the airway. If you want to get into advanced practice development system, APDS, advanced practice development support. If you want to get into the APDS, if you want to be certified in the APDS by the lead trainer and founder of the APDS course, Jonathan Stoiano, you have to demonstrate that the A is secure. You have to secure the A before you worry about the B and the C. Don't be like everyone else who's running around worrying about the C. They're treating the small child with an open fracture of the leg. Leave that child. I'm not saying you don't treat it at all. I'm not saying you don't do good clinical work and get good results. You will treat that child at some point, but you've got to treat the guy with the airway blocked first. You've got to look after the airway first, because if you don't look after the airway, or within that child, if the child's got a broken leg and an airway issue, if you don't look after the issue of the airway, there's no point in worrying about the leg. You're not going to get patients to come through and be customers if you don't look after the A and the awareness. ABC, simple as that. You heard it here first. I want it down on record that the ABC was first coined on the 10th of September 2020 at the 6112 Club, and you, my friend, have just witnessed it. You've witnessed the ABC of the APDS course. That is what we're going to be talking about, amongst other things, in the mastermind group. I'm very much looking forward to it in the meeting, which is in October. I'm very much hoping that everyone can come. I know that not everyone can come, but that's going to be a big topic of that. Prioritizing it. and getting it down what is important. Hope that's been helpful. I'm pumped. I'm pumped, as the Americans say. I'm on something here. I think you know it too. I'm onto something big. This is going to crack. Once this cracks in the outside world, I tell you what, I'll be doing these on my yacht, my friend. Okay, I'm out of here. I'll be on a world tour once this blows. Heard it here first. But for now, I'm going to have some pie and a cup of tea and maybe watch a bit of TV. I suggest you do likewise. See you next week, 6:12. Loving it. If you're on the Facebook page, check out the podcast. If you're on the podcast, check out the Facebook page. The club Facebook page, only for club members, 6:12 every Thursday.